Hi everyone!
Hello everyone. I'm sorry Jasmine can't be with me to introduce this latest cooking video. It's going to be rather lengthy, I'm afraid, and I wanted to explain why. We actually filmed 2 cooking videos one day after the other, and we published the second one first. The reason for that is that when we did the first one, we spent nearly 3 hours filming it. I took a tremendous amount of film and it was very difficult to edit. The second day we'd learnt from the first day, so it was quicker for me to edit that and get it published. Jasmine gives a very lively presentation and one I'm sure you will enjoy. This one is a vegetarian dish which involves lentils, rice and naan bread, and various other names that she gives to the naan bread.
We call it chapatti or roti.
I'm sorry it's longer than usual, but it really is unavoidable. There's a lot going on, and Jasmine does extremely well in a very confined space. If I show you this image, you will appreciate how limited she is on space. And within that space I also have to do the filming, so it's not easy. If we had a bigger boat and more worktop space and the boat was laid out differently, it would be a lot easier. But anyway, I hope you enjoy what you're about to see. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us.
Hi everyone! Somebody actually requested a vegetarian cooking dish, so today I decided, well, why not? So today what I'm going to do is just, it's very simple: lentils, rice and naan bread or chapatti if you like. I've got all the ingredients, proper flour, not plain flour because it doesn't work. So let's start off with lentils. I've got a saucepan here, water, and I've got a glass of lentils here. Now what I've done is, you need to wash the lentils. I've never put lentils straight into the water because what happens is, this is what you get if you don't wash your lentils. It's like quite a starchy water. You don't want starch in your lentils, so it needs to be washed. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to pop in my lentils into the saucepan so it will go on for cooking. Here, well, I've got all the ingredients. I thought it would be a lot easier if I just put them on the plate. Okay, so a knob of butter that goes straight in. I've got tomato puree that also goes straight in. Here in the spoon I've got paprika and tomato puree goes in. I've got madras curry powder that goes in, and what I've got is chili flakes and salt there. I'm a little bit cautious because Ellen doesn't like it too spicy, so I need to be very careful. So all I've done is, instead of adding a green chili, I've just thought I'll add the flakes and see how it works. So I've got salt and flakes and turmeric, all goes in. And what I've done is, I've got ginger here. Everything's got to be fresh, nothing out of a packet. So I've grated the ginger, that goes in. So all ready for me to go on to this next stage, which is the cooking. And not to forget the onions, which I've chopped, and in goes the onions. There we go. Very simple, it's nothing. Actually, I learned this from my daughter. I used to spend so much time doing this, that and the other, faffing here and there. So what did she say? Mom, just put everything in and bingo, it tasted absolutely delicious. So I would advise everyone, just bang everything in a saucepan and it goes. So the next stage is, we're going to put that to cook. And the final stage of, which is very important for the lentils, the garlic. The garlic needs to be cooked last. Okay, so it needs to be cooked in butter, and with that I've got cumin seeds. Now cumin, what I've done is I've washed, dried, and I've actually baked on just a hot griddle, so the taste is just very different. And then with that I'm going to add mustard seed and fresh coriander. That's going to be at the last stage of the cooking process. And before I put this on the gas, I've got fresh tomatoes, and they can also go in. You know, I'm not going to faff around, so it can just cook together and let it just gel. It's going to come out really nice. I shall taste it at the end and let you know what boss thinks about the cooking. So I've got the lentils going to go on, then I'm going to cook the rice, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do the roti, the paratha, which is going to be absolutely amazing. He loved it, but I did that with the plain flour. It doesn't work really, because it's very difficult to cook on the hot plate. It just breaks because it's not the right flour. So guys, this is what it's going to look like. It looks nothing much, but actually, trust me, when it's all cooked and all gelled together, it's going to be super duper. Let's just put the lentils on to cook. Now, if I was at home, I probably already would have the saucepan on the gas already with water and butter and everything. But hey, it's fine. So I'm just going to leave this to cook. Let it boil. It's up to each individual person whether they like the lentils to be very thick, very, very watery. I like it like medium. It needs to have some sort of substance and thickness to it. And you can actually eat this on its own. But I would serve the lentils with rice. But it's not completed yet. So the end part is going to be the cumin, the lentils, and that is the most important, because the sizzling of the garlic and the coriander and the cumin seeds is very important, and the mustard seed, and that's going to give the absolutely ultimate flavor to the lentils. Okay, so I'm just going to put the lid on there and let this cook. The next stage is going to be the rice. In the rice, what I've got here, it looks a little bit untidy, but okay, I've got onions, I've got tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, coriander, I've got peas, and I also got rice which is washed. Again, if you don't wash it, and this is what's going to come out. And trust me, you do not want starch in your rice, because what it will do is it congeals and it makes it like mushy, and you don't want rice to look mushy. You want it to look appetizing, and it should be the actual rice granules should be fluffy and appetizing. What I'm going to do is I am going to now get my saucepan out, which I should have prepared, but hey, it's one of those things, isn't it? One of those things that you never prepared. Always. Okay, I'm just going to give it a quick rinse of the saucepan. Right. Now with the rice, you do need a bigger saucepan, because for the heat to distribute and really cook it well. Because if it's small saucepan, I've tried that and it's just come out absolutely rubbish. So don't do it. I'm just telling you from my experience. Okay, so here we go now. Still trying to learn about this cooker here, because the heat is so different. I find the oven is too hot. I've actually burnt a few things. I'm still learning. I washed the saucepan. I'm going to add some butter. So you need just only a little knob of butter. So everything's washed, everything's prepared. Nothing, it's not difficult. It's so easy, I'm just so used to doing it. Because I'm actually demonstrating this, it's a little bit sort of saying to myself, hey, prepare myself. Okay, in goes the butter. Next thing in goes, like I said in my last video, that I don't measure anything. In goes the cumin seeds. And So in goes the onions. Everything has to be fresh. Nothing is, oh, here we go, the fire. Haven't I always said this? Okay, tomatoes goes in, a little bit of salt, only tiny bit. I'm really conscious of the amount of salt one uses in cooking, so yeah, I'm only going to as a taste. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so you can actually add, to be quite honest, you can actually add anything to your rice. You'll have to excuse this. That's cooking. Butter, onion and tomatoes goes in and just let it saute. You don't want to burn anything, okay? So it is just to soften all the onions and the tomatoes. And in goes my peas. They're frozen peas, they're not fresh peas. Okay, frozen peas goes in. You can add anything to your rice. Peas, you can add corn, you can add peppers, but for this dish, because I'm using lentils, I'm keeping it as simple as I possibly can. So let this cook, and to this I will add coriander. In goes the coriander. Let it just cook all together, and I will use a little bit of paprika for this, only for a little bit taste. You know, I'm actually addicted to paprika. Should one be addicted to it? Okay, just let this cook. Now the rice, I've got a glass of same measure of glass of rice. I washed it, and this is what came out, exactly as the lentils. Trust me, you don't want this. My mother's always taught me, always wash everything. So, and she's so right. So right, she was so right. Bless her soul. Okay, so it's cooking just for a short while. In about 2 minutes, I shall add the rice. And how I measure the water, what goes in the rice is, if I use a glass of rice, the water I'm going to add is full glass of water and a half glass of water. So it's a glass and a half to go into the rice. Alright, so listen, I'm going to put my rice in now. Okay, so let this just cook. Look how good it looks. It looks lovely. Okay, you can actually add turmeric if you wanted to, or paprika if you like to. It comes out really lovely. So anyway, guys, here it goes. I'm going to add a full glass of water, that goes in, and a half glass of water. There you go. And leave it to cook. It should come out of fluffy looking, really appetizing rice. Okay. What I don't want is this congealed, like mashed potato rice. So I'm going to leave this on a very low heat to cook. And my daughter actually gave me a very good advice. Here she goes again. Is to use a bigger saucepan for the rice to get the heat to distribute well. So actually that does work. She's absolutely correct on the fact what she told me. And it does. She is right. Absolutely right. Now here I am struggling again. So I've just turned the gas off. Okay. The lentils, I think the heat is too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the heat down, okay? Look, I want you to see what the lentils now look like. It's all cooking very nicely. You wait till I do the end bit of the lentils. It's going to be absolutely amazing. The only thing I'm concerned is the salt, so I'll have to taste that at the end. And we'll see what boss thinks about this. And I would never buy a naan from supermarket because it just doesn't taste right. It's processed and it's got that distinct smell, certainly with naans, and I don't like it. So I'd rather just either not eat or cook it myself. I hope you'll enjoy watching how I cook my naan. We call it chapatti or roti, whatever, however you want to take. You can actually add anything to it. You can add grated cauliflower or spinach, and it tastes divine. And you could actually use already leftover lentils to your flour and make it savory. So don't waste anything. Anyway, the lentils are cooking, the rice is cooking. My next stage would be preparing the dough for the naan bread or chapatti or roti, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I'm going to use onions, cumin seeds. The flour that I'm going to use, it's a proper chapatti flour, or rather a naan. You can actually, if you wanted to, add yogurt to it. So when the flour is in the bowl, add yogurt, onions, salt, and flakes, chili flakes if you needed to, if you wanted to. So I'm just going to wait and see what Ellen likes, and coriander and spinach if you wanted to. Optional, nothing that you must add. It's up to individual choice really. So everything goes in, just knead it, leave it for about 5-10 minutes, and then just roll it, and you'll see me how I do mine, and see what you think. In fact, it needs to go on iron cast plate, which is actually specially designed for cooking naans. A proper naan should be cooked in a charcoal. It's a proper oven. We haven't got that. We haven't got the facility, so we're going to make use of what we have. And so we use this iron cast plate, hot plate. Goes in on the gas. Let it heat whilst you're just rolling your dough, and just put. You can add butter. You'll see how I do it and see what you think. Obviously you won't have your opinion on how it's going to taste, and boss will tell me, I'm sure he'll tell me whether he likes it or not. Well, hey ho, that's a vegetarian. So we got rice, lentils, and just naan. So that's a vegetarian dish. There are loads of options of cooking vegetarians. You can have aubergines, you can cook, there's loads. We have so much of option. The lentils, I haven't finished cooking the lentils, so it's just going. So the last bit is the garlic that needs to go in, okay, and the mustard seed and the coriander. This is the thickness that I like. So that is done. And the last thing that needs to go in it is the garlic, cumin seeds, and I've got it all, and coriander and mustard seed, and it has to sizzle, because the sizzling bit and putting the lid down is the ultimate taste of pure dal, what we call lentils, what it should taste like. But you know, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off the gas, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the frying pan out, and the rice is nearly done, by the way. So I'm just going to check this and see what the rice looks like. You see? So it's still cooking, still in a cooking process. So leave that to it. So I'm just going to get my frying pan out if I can find it. You know, boss is really organized. He puts everything in its proper place, which is so easy. I can find everything. Let me give it a quick rinse. Dry. So I'm going to move the rice onto there and use this. It's much easier. Okay. A little bit of butter that's going to go. Just a knob of butter. I'll be using a lot of butter. Very unhealthy. Actually, butter, so they say, as research tells you, it changes on day-to-day basis. Oops. Okay. That was not supposed to happen, but yes. What he's saying is it's very good for the brain. Actually, ghee is very good for the brain. Who knows? To tell you one thing, tell you another thing, it's very conflicting. You just don't know whether you're coming or going. So anyway guys, here it is. Frying pan, butter. I'm going to put it on high heat. It has to be on high heat because the garlic has, I don't want the garlic to burn, but it has to not go black or anything like that. So I've got everything ready anyway. So you got cumin, mustard seed and garlic. So let the butter melt a bit. In goes the mustard seeds and the cumin seeds first. Okay, I'll just heat that a little bit. There you go. You know, I always love cumin seeds to be roasted because it just tastes very different. Okay guys, garlic goes in. So I'm going to add the coriander last. I'm going to move this aside. So quite a bit of coriander here. One on that plate, one on this plate. So one is for, I actually saved this for chapatis, and I saved that for the lentils. Okay, so here it is cooking. The mustard seeds, that's cooking together. Don't let this burn, and don't let the butter burn either, because you don't want this going black. It has to be really hot. When you put the lentils in there, put the lid in. The beauty of this is you've got to cover it so that it gets the sizzling taste. And you might not think it's there, but it is. The garlic is already browning now. You don't want this burning. Okay, the heat is really high. So what I'm going to do is, now this is really, be very careful with this please. So I'm going to put the lentils in and put the lid straight back on again. So that's fine. You should actually cover this. Lovely, that's done. Okay, it only takes a few seconds, doesn't take that long. So I'm going to just add the whole of my coriander there. Right, that's done. Okay. With the coriander, the stems have got much more taste than the actual leaves. That's very true. You know, it has got that beautiful taste, and I don't think the leaves have got. My mother's always told me this, you know, don't waste the stem. That's where the flavor is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap this over and add the rest of this to the sauce and just stir it. It's done. It's done. This is all done, and this is what your end product looks like. Look, it's got the garlic. I think it looks divine, but we'll just have to wait and see what Ross thinks. Okay, so look, lentils are done. I shall cover this, leave it there. So just have a look at the rice is all done. So I'm going to turn this off too. I'm just going to quickly have a look at the rice and see what it's doing. What may sometimes can happen, it burns from underneath. It depends what sort of saucepan you have. So it looks fine to me. I don't really like to stir too much. The steam will, if it's not cooked right to the end, cook the rest of it. Okay, so lentils, rice, all done. Next stage is the roti, the chapatis or naan, whatever you want to call it. So bear with me. We'll just clear this and then we'll get back to you. Okay, you know, the last bit is just to cook the chapatis or pita bread, however you want to call it. And I've got a proper flour for it. And I'm not using plain flour or anything like that because it doesn't work, as I've said earlier on. So this is the packet I've got. I've got some flour here in this little dish. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add salt. I will mix it all together. Okay, so I've got salt, I've got cumin seeds, and I've got chili flakes, and then I've got coriander chopped and spring onions, all goes together. But what you will find is when you kneaded the flour up, I mean you're rolling it, you will find that the onions or the stuffing will tend to come out. Hey, don't worry about it, because once it's in the frying pan, it's fine. You know, you'll see what I'm trying to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix this together. Okay, make sure that all the salt and all the ingredients is together. Okay, use as much as you want to use the water. There's no measurement here, so just use your head. When you know it's really like a dough consistency, that's what you want. Okay, here we go. Water, pouring in and mixing the flour. You can actually sort of add butter to it prior to it. Just rub the butter in like you normally would with, you know, with any kind of pies. You can try that. That actually works pretty good. I've done that and it's okay. It works quite nice. But here we go. Just going to give it a good mixing here. Okay. Hey, don't worry if the dough is too soft, then you can add a bit more flour. You just got to carry on kneading it and just mixing it, and then you'll know. There you go. Give it a good bashing. I wouldn't really bash, really. Actually, I think I've done it too much for 2 people. Okay, you can still see there's a bit of flour on the side. Hey, don't worry, just mix that in. It's fine. We're nearly there. No hard work. You gotta leave this to settle. I'll say half an hour if you can. I've tried to. If you cook it straight, once you mix the flour up, it just doesn't taste. When you're rolling it, you can see the difference. So it's like with anything, isn't it? When you mix the dough, you need to let it settle. So listen, this is all done. Look, everything's just mixed together. No big deal, hey? There you go. Isn't it lovely scenery? I'm looking at the boats. It's so lovely. Here you go. All done. There you go. Prep done. I shall drop it. Let it settle, and then when I'm ready to cook the chapatis, it'll be all ready. So I've got the frying pan all on the gas. I've got the plate with kitchen roll and some aluminium foil at the bottom just to keep the rotis or naan warm. When you're cooking it, when you cooked it, you need to serve it straight away, because otherwise, you know, it tastes funny. However, I wanted to just make a point here. So when you have cooked this roti or naan, you can actually, if you haven't got lentil already prepared, you can actually do an omelette and just lay it on the top and just roll it like a wrap and have it. And there's loads of ways you can actually make use of this. You know, have high fiber, all the good flavors of onions and cumin and all the goodness. And hey, bingo, you got it all rolled in one. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to leave this, let it settle, and then when we're ready, I'll roll it up and let you see the end product, and we'll see what the boss thinks then. I've got the frying pan, the plate, the dough all ready, and also got the flour on the side, and I also got the butter, which I'm going to actually add as I'm rolling. There's no fast rules of whether you want square or round. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Because I've done both. It makes no difference. It's only going to go in your stomach. As long as the ingredients there, who cares? As long as it's presentable and it's good. And I like the food to look good on the plate. Now what we're going to do is just roll up for the naan bread or roti or chapati, whatever you want to call it. So here, just rolled up, and I just made into 6 balls. Just going to roll it up. It's really difficult, as you can understand, in a boat. It's really difficult. Bless Ellen, he's tried so hard to just get me all comfortable to do this. Okay, so here we are. Now you can have this just plain and just drop it into a hot frying pan, or which I like very much is to put a little bit of butter. It's naughty, but it's nice. Here, as you would agree. Okay, so here we go. Now you can roll this like so, or you can have it in a square size. Does it matter? Round, square? Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so here I have flour, just a little bit here. I'm just gonna roll it. You know, if I'm in my own kitchen, it'll be a lot easier, but it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Right, look, it's all done. It's all done. Look, it's got onion, it's got all the flavor. Say hey ho. It's all done. So easy, you know. What the hell? Okay, this is your end product. Put it on the hot plate. Let it cook. Don't put the butter on straight away. Do it a little bit later on. Let it cook. All done, ready to go in the frying pan. Evenly done. No thickness one side or the other. Hey, it's going to be good. So what I'm going to do is put it in my frying pan like so. Frying pan on. Okay, now that's cooking. Look, here it is. You don't have to, it's optional. You don't have to have butter. Look, it's done. This is so beautifully done. And that's how it should be. Great. I'm happy with this. If the boss doesn't like it, I'm going to throw him in the water. Yes, I'll throw him in the water. Look, what do you think? I think it looks lovely and brown. Because if you used plain or self-raising flour, what you will find is it will break off. It's not going to be at the same level as it is. You will find it breaks off and then you're going to struggle. Hey, don't even go there. Plain and self-raising flour doesn't work. This is special wholemeal flour. There you go. All done. That's one bit done. Second bit is going to be here, which I rolled out earlier on. Throw it in the frying pan like so. Hey, let it cook. Because, like I said, the plain or self-raising flour will take a lot longer. Let it cook. You got your butter here. It's optional. You don't have to have butter. Like I've said, I've repeatedly said this again and again. But I think the butter does add a little bit of flavor. So we're going to have lentils, rice and naan. And we'll see what boss thinks. With this flour, you can add yogurt to it before you need. Yogurt, cumin, you don't have to, but this is optional. You can have yogurt, salt, paprika. Hey, there's no hard rules to what you can and cannot add to it. Look, this is now bubbling. I'm going to turn this here. It's wonderful. I'm going to just throw the butter in, just spread it around. Look, I think it looks great. Hey, this is the end product. I've got rice, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve the lentils. I bet you're going to wish you were here. Okay, we'll see what the boss thinks. I think he's going to love it. I don't think he will ever say, please don't serve me anything else except lentils and rice and the simple meal. Yes, Yay!
Is that it, love?
Yes, it's gonna be great.
You've done a grand job, I have to say.
Thank you very much.
I hope I like it.
Hey. Come on, you poof.
We spent so long doing the filming that we just wanted to do the eating, and it really was delicious. I'd like to thank Jasmine for doing the presentation. She did a fantastic job, and also for getting all the ingredients together. There were just so many different elements to the food that she prepared, and I'm sure we'd all like to thank her for doing that on our behalf. So thank you very much, Jasmine. It's now that time when I say I hope you're all keeping safe and well, looking after yourselves, your friends and families. If you haven't yet done so, please do think about subscribing and clicking the little bell to receive notifications of future videos. Until next time, take the utmost care. Bye for now.